This conference will now be recorded.
So, the topic which we are going to start here is the EAM, Emergency Access Management. So, we already know the EAM concept overview. What is the overview of EAM? We have already discussed. Anyone? So, what is EAM for? We have
Extra access
already
for temp
discussed. Yes,
extra
exactly.
access for temporary time.
Exactly. Good. Who has said that? So EAM is nothing but providing extra access for a temporary time. So this is what the example we have taken. Now to explain again EAM, I am going to take one more small example. So, what is this emergency access? How to provide extra access? All the things will be discussed. Firstly, we are going to take a small example like a family where father, mother, and the kid are living a small micro family. So here what happens is every day father leaves for work at 10 a.m. and get back home around 8 p.m. So this is the timesheet. And coming to the mother, mother is going to leave work for at 8 a.m. and get back by 5 p.m. Whereas kid is going to leave the home around 9 a.m. and get back by 4 p.m. So this is the timeline of the each member of the family. So observe carefully. So mainly with the kid. So when the kid leaves at 9 a.m., there is already father available. So he is going to take care of it. But when you observe carefully, the kid return back home by 4 p.m. and there are none of the two people available. Either of the parents are not available. Let us assume that this kid is a very small person, like a first class or second class child who have no idea about how to lock or unlock the home. So what we can do is, so he is not having idea about how to operate a key. Okay, how to operate a key he is not having. So by operating this key, he can lock or unlock or he can get access to home. So in order to get access to home, he used to operate the key. So when he return back at 4 p.m., there is no one to operate this key. So at this scenario, what is the solution you can provide? So the solution, a simple solution we can provide is to simply hand over keys to security guard. So whoever security guard is available for your home, so to that security guard, we are going to hand over the key. This security guard, when the kid returns, he is coming to your home and going to unlock for you, and kid can enter the home. This is what happening here. But here, is there any potential risk you have observed? So what is the potential risk we are having?
Security guard.
Yeah, the security guard. He is having access to home. So he knows that from morning 10 a.m. when the father leaves the home till 4 p.m. there is no one to observe you. So the last person that leaves the house is father at 10 a.m. The first person that enter the home is the kid at 4 p.m. So from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. he is having access to home and he knows that there are none of the people. He can simply misuse the key. So at this scenario, what is the solution you can provide? What are the solutions you can provide? So firstly, we can install a CC camera in the entrance so that if anyone enter your home, you can just track them. And second thing is you can inform to the neighbors, stating that we have already given the keys to the security guard. So if anyone and try to enter the home in between these timings, please notify us. Or else you can simply install a smart key. Smart key is nothing but whenever the door was unlocked, you are going to get a notification in this way. So these are the solutions you are going to provide. So these are nothing but what exactly we are going to do here? We are tracking this one. So we are going to track. Okay, track the security guard by all any one of these solutions. So now let us discuss regarding this EAM concept. So to execute this EAM concept, we totally require four different types of IDs. First one is called as the firefighter owner. Firefighter owner. Second one we required is the firefighter, okay, monitor. And third one we required is the firefighter user. And third one, last one we required is the firefighter ID. These are the four things which we require. So, what are the roles and responsibilities of each ID? Coming to the firefighter owner, he is going to give all the approvals and rejections, okay, regarding the firefighter concept. So he is the final decision maker. Firefighter monitor is the person who is going to track the firefighter. So all the tracking related activities, okay, tracking related activities he is going to take care of. And third one is the firefighter user. He is the one who is going to use the emergency access. So this is the person who is going to use the emergency access. Firefighter ID is nothing but so the user gets emergency access, gets the emergency access through the ID. So it will be little bit confusing. Let me explain. Now, here who is the firefighter owner? What are the roles and responsibilities of a owner? Approvals and rejection. So who will be the owner? Parents. The parents, or simply you can say father. Father is the firefighter owner who gives approvals and rejections. Next one is the firefighter monitor who do the tracking related activities. Who is going to do the tracking activities? CC camera. The CC camera is our firefighter FF monitor, firefighter monitor whom it is tracking the person who is using the emergency axis. So whose axis we are tracking here? The security guard. So the security guard is our firefighter user. So how is this firefighter user getting access through the key he is going to get? So the diagram is little bit confusing, but I will give another one. So the operating key is the firefighter ID. Through this firefighter ID only, this firefighter user can access. Or else, let me give another diagram for you. So first comes is the user who required extra access. So whoever user required extra access, he is going to log in into the firefighter user. By logging into this firefighter user, he is going to access the system which he requires extra access. Okay. So in order to access this one, he required in between something called as the firefighter ID. Through firefighter ID only, he can access in this way. The firefighter user can access through the firefighter ID only. So, and what are the roles of the monitor and the owner? Firstly comes the monitor. So this monitor is going to track track the user. Whenever the user access this firefighter ID or this system through the firefighter ID, the monitor is going to track every activity the firefighter user performs. And what is the role of the firefighter owner? He is going to give the approval. That is, which monitor should track which user, he is going to take care of it. So it is not like if you are a firefighter monitor, you can track any user ID. No, you cannot track it. So to do this tracking activity, you require both firefighter and ID and the firefighter user. These are the four terminologies which you should be knowing before execution: firefighter owner, firefighter monitor, firefighter user, and firefighter ID. These are the four things which you have to understand. So, if anyone having any doubts, did you understand the terminologies? Firstly, who is
Yes, sir.
the owner, who is the monitor, who is the ID, and who is the user? Right. So, just a second. So let us see how the configuration is done. So, so the configuration is done in this way. So let us take that. So the extra access which we require is in the ECC system. So for suppose there is a user who is requesting for the extra access in the ECC system. So to provide extra access for the ECC system, what we need to provide is the firstly in the ECC system, we have to create something called as the firefighter ID. Okay, and come into the GRC system. In GRC system, we need to create firefighter owner, firefighter controller, and firefighter, okay, firefighter user. So controller or monitor, both the things are same, you can name anything. So owner, controller, and the user will be created here itself. So so this is the thing. So what we have to do is we have to configure owner to the ID, and we have to give controller to the ID, and we have to provide user to the ID. This is the configuration which we have to do. So the concept is very simple. So as we discussed the basic definition, if a user requires extra access, so we are going to use the EAM concept. If a user required extra access, we are going to use the EAM concept. So for suppose there is a user called Raju. who required extra access. So Raju required extra access in ECC system. So what are we going to do is we won't directly give access to the ECC system. Instead, we will give him access to the GRC system. Okay. So we provide access to the GRC system to the firefighter user. So just a moment, getting a call. So sorry for the distance. So here, so if a user required extra access, this user required extra access for the ECC system. So if he required extra access for ECC system, we are not going to create him credentials in the ECC system. Instead, in the GRC system, we will create him something called as the firefighter user. So through the firefighter user, he can trigger the firefighter ID in the ECC system and he can get access to the ECC system. So it does not matter to which system he required extra access. So we are going to provide him through the GRC system only. So any backend system he required extra access, we are going to provide through the GRC system only. So some common doubt which many students ask is what if someone required extra access in the GRC system itself? So generally understand one thing that in GRC system mostly like 75% tasks are done by the security consultants itself and 25% tasks are done by the basis basis and some part by ABAP team. So very few things only the technical teams will be only working here and mostly 99% of the time you won't get that type of scenario. Okay, so right, so this is all about the introduction. Now, for the execution, firstly, what we are going to do is create firefighter ID, create firefighter owner, create firefighter controller. So, firefighter controller, firefighter monitor. Both the terminologies are same. Don't get confused. Both are exactly same terminologies. Okay. So all the four things which we are going to create in the today's session. Let us do that one. Okay. So firstly, let me connect to the server.
Srikanth asked me some doubt in messages.
Sorry, I did not understand.
Srikanth
What you
message with a doubt. Signal
message
problem.
is? Okay, okay. We are monitor, but real time who is the owner? Both the owner and monitor both are the GRC consultants only. Okay, the firefighter owner is a GRC consultant, the firefighter control. So, frankly speaking, sometimes the firefighter controller may not be the GRC consultant also. So, generally, firefighter owner is the person who will be always 100% a GRC consultant And firefighter controller most of the time will be GRC consultant only. One or other time it can be any other people also. And one more thing I just want to give here is in a project there can be only one firefighter owner. Only one owner you can be. One firefighter owner. And there can be multiple monitors. And there can be multiple users. Okay. So this is the concept. So I will explain you one by one. First, let us log in into the system. So So firstly, which I am going to log in into the our backend system, that is ECC, S4 HANA, CRM, BW, HR, any backend system. In our example, it's a S4 HANA system. In the backend system, we have to create a firefighter ID. So first log in into your backend system and go to SU01 and create a firefighter ID. So I am creating Krishna underscore FFID and go for create option. Give the last name as firefighter ID and give the logon data. So password you can give simply anything. We have nothing to do this with this password. Okay, give anything. Go for the roles and convert this user ID into a firefighter ID. For that, go for the selection criteria called star GRAC. Okay, or else you can go for star FFID. Okay, browse it and browse it. Browse the roles for the firefighter ID. So here we are having the role called SAP GRAC SPM FFID. This is the ID which I am creating, which I am assigning. This ID is going to convert this normal user ID into a firefighter ID. Okay, so a part of this firefighter ID. So here is the ID. So what happens here is whatever access you give for this user ID, only that access you are going to get. Okay. For suppose for this firefighter ID, you have given access for only two transaction codes. So this user get access only for only two transaction codes. Now I am giving access for SAP underscore all. Meaning here is I am going to provide full access. So if it, oh, just a second, inactive, who have inactivated this one? Okay, so SAP underscore all means for this firefighter ID, I am giving full access. So by this activity, we are done with our backend system. No other activities left over to perform. So the next activity we have to go is in the GRC system. So task number one done. Remaining tasks are available here. So just log in into your GRC system. So after you log in, first thing you have to do is a synchronization. Okay, before creating any task, first task you have to do is the synchronization job once performed. Why? Because the user ID which we have created must be synced here. So go to the same activity which we have done. Okay, select the RFC connection, any of the RFC connection which you have created, and just sync the data. Okay, just execute this one. So the data is synced. Okay, so data is being synced in the backend. So in this way. So first thing you have done is create the user ID in the ECC system and perform the synchronization. So after this synchronization is done, next thing you have to perform here is create the firefighter owner, controller, and the user. So create the firefighter owner in the GRC system. So okay, so go to SU01 and create the firefighter owner. Okay, so I'm giving the ID as Krishna underscore FFO. Create here and give the last name as firefighter owner. Okay, go for logon data and give a password here and go to the roles. So now convert this user ID. Okay, password. Just a second. So convert this ID into the owner ID. We already know this one, how to convert. That is search for the GRAC access control roles. You have to search here and select the role called SAP GRAC super user owner role. So firefighter is also called as a super user. Okay, remember it. Firefighter is also called as a super user. So super user owner role. Assign this one. After this, followed by the common GRC roles we have to assign here. Okay, so create it and assign the common GRC roles. Power reserve base role being display NWBC. Assign these things and save the data. And second ID I am going to create in the GRC system is the firefighter controller. Create this one and give the last name as the firefighter controller. FF controller. And go to the logon page and give some password here. So after creating the controller, go for the roles and search for star GRAC star. Okay. So here also select the super user controller role. Okay. So star GRAC super user management control. Super user controller role we have to assign and give the common GRC rules here. So after creating the owner rules, what is the next step we have to do? Update in the NWBC. So whatever owner rules you have created, we have to immediately update in NWBC. So perform the same task. So log in into NWBC and update the owner IDs. Now, how many owner IDs we are having? Two owner IDs we are going to have. One is the firefighter owner and second one is the firefighter controller. Both are called as the owner IDs. But why the controller is also called as the owner ID? I have already said this one before. At the mitigation control, I have said this one. Why? Because if any user ID having control on the other users, they are called as the owner IDs only. So come to the access control owners and update the two IDs here. So just simply go for create option and select the owner ID, that is Krishna FFO is the owner ID. So just expanding this one, go down below. So observe here carefully. There are two things. One is the firefighter ID owner. Second one is the firefighter role owner. So right now, we can either create a firefighter ID or firefighter role. So not nothing difference here. So previously we have discussed it, right? Here, if you are creating a firefighter user, then you have to, or else you can create a firefighter role. Anything you can create. So the concept is same. Either you can provide extra access through the user ID or extra access through the role. I will be giving complete execution regarding the user and guiding you how to perform through the role. Both tasks are 100% same. So in one place you will be using the user ID. In second place you are going to use the role. So first I will execute the user ID and give you assignment regarding the role, how to execute through the role. So right now we are using the user ID so that I am giving this one as the firefighter ID owner. Okay, firefighter owner for user ID. So if you are going to instead of firefighter ID, you are creating firefighter role means assigned as a firefighter role owner. That's it. That's the only difference here. So save the data and close this one. Next, again go for the create option and select the Krishna Krishna firefighter controller. So in the firefighter controller also observe carefully, there will be two different things. One is firefighter ID controller, firefighter role controller. Right now what we have to select is firefighter ID controller. So firefighter ID controller are responsible for reviewing the log reports generated during the firefighter ID usage. So firefighter ID controller. So in the same way, you can just read this one. Only one terminology will be changed. Instead of ID, there will be role. That's it. Firefighter role controllers are responsibilities for reviewing the log report generating during the firefighter role usage. Instead of ID, you will be using the role concept. I will explain it later. So right now we have done this one. Okay, right. So firefighter controller owner ID we have updated. Now after creating the owner and controller, what is the next one we have to create here is the firefighter ID is the thing which we have to. So firefighter user is the thing we have to create. Where we have to create again in GRC SU01 only we have to create. So go to SU01 and create a firefighter ID. Krishna underscore firefighter ID. Go for create option and give this one as a firefighter ID. In the logon data, give the user type as service user. So why I have selected as service user? So why? Because the user who is logging for the extra access, I don't want him to create a customized password. So I am the one or the productive password. I am the one who is going to give him directly the productive password. So what is the difference between the dialog user and the service user? So what is the difference here between the dialog user and service user? So anyone? So very basic question. What is the difference between a dialog user and a service user?
In dialog user can change the password.
Okay.
In
And in
service,
service user?
that is predefined, or a consultant, GRC consultant, what
Okay, what you said was technically correct, but the explanation is 100% wrong. So, technically speaking, it's the concept, but the way you convey is wrong. So, for a dialog user, we are going to set a initial password, whereas for a service user, we are going to set a productive password. What is difference between an initial password and the productive password? A initial password can be used only for first time login, whereas a productive password is the final user password which will be used every day. So we are going to set the firefighter ID as service user. Why? Because we want to give direct productive password. We don't want the user to set the productive password here. That's the concept. Okay. So after creating the productive password, next one is go to the rules. Here observe carefully, it is different. Don't go for star GRAC. So go for star GRIA. Okay. So this is the selection criteria you have to give. Go for star GRIA and go for the rules and select the role called Super User Fighter. SAP GRIA Super User Management. This is the one which you have to execute. Okay, and save the and followed by the common GRC rules. Those things do not change for anyone. If you want to use any user ID in the NWBC, we have to assign the common GRC rules. Okay, so assign it in this way. So successfully we have created all the four user IDs, and next thing is assigning owner to the ID, controller to the ID, user to the ID. I will once check it if the data is updated. I will assign right now, or else we will do in the next class. So in the meantime, you can create the data for yourself. Now, task number one is assign the owner to the firefighter ID. Come to NWBC, just scroll down in the setup. So in the setup itself, you are having an option called emergency access assignment, assigning the owner to the firefighter ID we are having. So select the owner ID here and go for the assign option. And here firstly select the firefighter owner. Whatever is your firefighter owner, you can select it. So the owner ID which we have created is Krishna FFI. So there are so many entries. Okay. Okay. Little bit confusing. So select the owner IDs. Just going for the So this is our owner ID, Krishna FFO. Select it. So below go for the add option and select the firefighter ID. Just go for Krishna star and no. The firefighter ID which we have created is not yet synced. So not a issue. We will continue the task tomorrow. What we have to do is do the full synchronization, which it is going to take some time. So go to the synchronization job and do the full synchronization. So tomorrow's task will be so complete the once do the revision session, you should be understanding what is the purpose of each ID, what is the workflow of the EAM. Once go through this topic and create the data. So in tomorrow's session, what we are going to do is assign the owner to ID, controller to ID, user to ID, followed by we will log in with the firefighter user and trigger the firefighter ID and perform some activities, generate the reports, everything we can perform tomorrow. So these are so till here you have to execute by tomorrow. Tomorrow we are going with full length execution of the EAM concept or the firefighter concept. So till here, if anyone having any doubts, so hopefully no one is having any doubts, right? In ARA and BRM, so we are having more time today. So just a very much basic introduction, right? Today we have taken. So we are having lot of time today. If anyone having any doubts in the AR, BRM, you can ask me. Or in the firefighter introduction, which we have discussed today,
Sir, can you explain once again firefighter
firefighter user. So
user
try to understand this one. So first, suppose there is a user called, so the user name is something like Yogesh. So Yogesh is the person who required extra access for ECC system. So he has all the approvals and he said that for Yogesh required extra access for temporary time. And he has approached the security team. So what the security team is going to do is the security team is not going to create him a credential in the ECC system. What they do is they create a firefighter user for Yogesh. So, Yogesh, they are going to create a firefighter user. So, how can Yogesh access the ECC system through the firefighter user? Is he is going to get access through the firefighter ID. So, Yogesh get connection with the firefighter ID in the back end system, and whatever extra activities he requires, he is going to perform here. And when the firefighter user performs the activity, immediately the monitor is going to get the notifications. So here the monitor is someone like Naidu. So NIDE is the firefighter monitor. So here when the firefighter user performs the extra access for 2 days or 3 days, he is performing. Whenever this firefighter user logins and log offs from the system, immediately the monitor, that is NIDE, is going to get the notification immediately that this firefighter user was login and he has accessed the backend system and accessed SU01, PFCG, SU22, MM03 in this way. This is the role. And what about the owner here? For suppose the owner is here someone called as a Srikant. So this owner Srikant, what he take care is which monitor is assigned to which user. So if a monitor required access to the user, or if a monitor required tracking the user, the owner should give an approval. So here, very simple concept. So Yogesh is a normal backend user or a functional user. So here in our example, Yogesh is a functional user and he required access for the ECC system and he has requested the security team. Okay, security team or the GRC team. So from now onwards, don't divide these words. Okay, some people, what I am seeing is still they are seeing a security consultant as one job and GRC consultant as one job. So security team is that include both security, regular ECC security consultant and GRC consultant. Both are all called as a security team. So you have approached the security team. In the security team, Monica is available. So what is she doing? Instead of creating you directly a user ID in the ECC system, Monica has created you something called as a firefighter user for you. So you will only get credentials of the GRC system. If at all you want to perform this extra access, you have, it's a mandatory thing. You have to log in into the GRC system give the firefighter user ID and password. So if Yogesh login into the GRC system, by triggering the firefighter ID, he is going to get access for the ECC system. So whenever Yogesh performs, Naidu is going to get the notification. Naidu is nothing but the monitor is going to get monitor or the controller. Don't confuse between these two things. Both are 100% same. Okay, the controller is going to get the notification stating that so Yogesh has performed so and so activities he is going to get. Then here the role of Srikant is only first time. So first time when Naidu required to track this Yogesh or the monitor want to track this user, the owner should be giving the approvals. Okay, so this is all about the workflow of the EAM. Still having any doubt? Is it clear? I thought I explained it clearly, but still having any doubt, you can ask me. Role of each ID.
So if you get three requirements at a time, that time, how to perform?
So what is meant by three requirements? Is it for three different systems?
No. Three users requesting for firefighter ID that time.
So, first thing, no one will ask you access for firefighter ID or firefighter user. So, what a functional consultant will ask is, so a FI consultant will ask access for from system or P codes. Okay, a SD consultant is going to ask access for FI system or FIT codes. A consultant may ask access for HR system or the HRT codes. So none of the functional consultants will be having knowledge about what is meant by firefighter ID and what is meant by firefighter user. So your question is what if there are three requests? So I am assuming that only one user only one user requested access for three different systems. So is this your question? Or else one user for one system, second user, second system, third user, third system. Which scenario you are asking?
Three user for one system.
So,
If
okay. So there, yes, okay,
FI consultant,
yes,
consultant, or
yeah,
SD
got
consultant,
it.
or ABAP
So,
consultant, like that.
yes, FI consultant is asking extra access for ABAPs for the ECC system only, and HR consultant is asking extra access for ECC system. So, and even consultant is also asking for extra access for ECC system only. So here the backend system is same. Here I have given one note point. What is that one? So, is it? So this one. What is this one? We can create multiple monitors and multiple user IDs. So here, firstly, so you create firefighter ID 1. Okay, firefighter ID 1 you are going to create. In the firefighter ID 1, you can provide whatever extra access this FI user requires. Or else, if you are taking a scenario like this firefighter ID is having full authorization. I guess you are taking this scenario only. So if the
Yes.
firefighter is having full authorization and multiple firefighter users required access for same firefighter ID, here you can take two types of scenarios. That is only one firefighter user created. So can we assign the same user ID, same firefighter user ID to multiple users at a time? Means the answer is no. If one user logins, the second person cannot log in at a time. It is not even possible. Okay. And second scenario is if at all you create multiple users. So the question is, can multiple firefighter users like firefighter user 1, firefighter user 2, firefighter user 3. Can multiple firefighters assign to the same firefighter ID? Means the answer is yes. You can assign, okay? You can assign the same multiple firefighter users to the same firefighter ID. Not at all issue, okay? So
Okay.
here they can be multiple user IDs. If at all you are using only one user ID and assigning the same user ID for firefighter user to three different functional users, only one user can access the firefighter user at a time. The same example, like we have given you remote access. The consultancy has given you remote access. Same access has given for two students. What happened? Only one student can access it. If one student uses, the second person cannot use it. The same thing applies here. If one user log in, the second user cannot. The second functional consultant cannot log in with the same user ID. Okay,
Okay. We can
clear?
create multiple firefighter ID also, right?
Yes, how
So
many firefighter IDs you want, you can create. How many users you want, you can create. How many monitors you want, you can create. Only one owner you can create. That's the only restrictions we are going to have. We
okay.
cannot create multiple owners. The person who gives the approval must be only one person or a single person. There cannot be multiple owners. So monitors, users IDs, as per your requirement, you can create as many as you want. Okay?
Okay. It's clear.
Yeah, good. Any other doubts? So if you understand the theory, the implementation will be very much easy. The firefighter concept, especially. This is a very much easier concept. Anyone? Maunika, Srikant, Naidu, any doubts in this concept?
Sir, in previous area concept to user in created a backend S4 system, risk
Okay,
analysis in GRC system.
okay.
In the case user in created in GRC system, why sir?
So can you repeat the question?
User మనం S4 అనే సిస్టమ్ లో యూజర్ ని క్రియేట్ చేసి రిస్క్ అనాలిసిస్ GRC సిస్టమ్ లో చేసినాం కదా సార్.
Yes,
ఇప్పుడు యూజర్ అంటే S4 అనే సిస్టమ్ యూజర్ ని క్రియేట్ చేయలేదు, GRC సిస్టమ్ లో చేసాము కదా.
yes.
ఓకే
So, what
ఇప్పుడు
is the purpose of creating? So, you should tell me. So, you are asking why did we create these user IDs in GRC system? Now, tell me what is the purpose of these three user IDs? Are these to do operations in the GRC systems or in the backend systems? So,
GRC
we are
సిస్టమ్.
creating. So in this system, you want to do the operations, you are going to create the user IDs in that system only. Very much just a small logic. So if at all you want to do operations like the firefighter owner, controller, and the user. So these things can be these people you should require access for the GRC system only we are creating in them. So if they are functional consultant, we are going to create in the backend systems. Okay, and I guess you are asking about the firefighter user. Why are we creating the firefighter user ID in the GRC system? Why don't we create in the ECC system? So understand the concept carefully. That EAM full form is emergency access. So this is all about the emergency access, which we are going to take extra precautionary steps while giving the access. So at the end of the day, we must not be targeted for giving the wrong access for any user. So till now, why we are doing authorization, why we are doing risk analysis, there is no answer to maintain security in our projects. In the same way, why are we going to give access in the GRC system? Why don't we create directly user in the ECC system? Is to track them. We don't want to give direct access to backend systems. We want to track them. So they are the risky users, not the risky users. They are not having that. We should not use direct authorization for all the extra transaction codes. If they are performing anything illegally or unauthorizedly, so we will be getting blamed. So you create a user ID in their backend system in your S4 HANA system for 3 days. So if you create in the backend system, you won't get option to track them. What all the activities they have performed, a detailed report you won't get. If you want to get that report, the user ID must be created in the GRC system itself. Okay, is it clear, Srikant?
Clear, sir. Clear, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So Monica, you are asking something, right? Naidu and Monica having any doubts? Hopefully no. So right. So everyone try to create some data, and after you create the data, don't forget to do the full synchronization part. Okay. Right. So tomorrow we are going to do the execution of EAM. Okay. By tomorrow we are going to complete the EAM concept. Okay, everyone. We'll be meeting tomorrow at same time at 8 p.m. Have a nice day.